Yeah, so let me quickly go through our slide. Okay, so in the slides, like from the demo point of view, what we have thought of just showing it to you, and will be just explaining it to you. So what do we feel of Microsoft Dynamics? What Microsoft Dynamics exactly looks like, what it is, how Microsoft Dynamics 365 has evolved, because you might have heard about the previous versions which deals with some different names and those things, how we can relate those things, how it has evolved from the different older versions. Previously it was not based on cloud, right now it is cloud, it has more enhanced capabilities. What are the prospects of Microsoft Dynamics and how it is actually helping the different customers. So we'll quickly go through few of the I'll say see live examples, so what we have done and how Microsoft Dynamics is being implemented. And as a technical resource, or as a technical person, or when you are starting your Dynamics 365 journey in the development workspace, how it is going to help you in the long run, right? So this will be our agenda of the course. Okay, so just give me a minute. Okay. So previously, when I talk about Microsoft Dynamics 365 as an ERP, so if you have know about what is ERP, if you have bare minimum knowledge, that is fine. If you not, let me explain that to you in very simple words. So every Dynamics 365 or every company have the different business verticals. So if we are saying that, let me just write it down. I think that will be easier for you. So let's say if we are having a company which is producing motorbikes or something, or let's take an example of which is a live example, the project which worked on is called Aisha Motors. So Aisha Motors, you know what it does, it produces bikes, those are known as Royal Enfield bikes, and also they produces trucks, right? Those are large container trucks. So let's talk about Aisha Motors, right? And then we'll be discussing the different parts. So when we went to the project and we thought of implementing the ERP, so first thing, the customer, or whenever someone is examining the products and everything, so what is the basic need of some ERP, how it will help them. So predominantly ERPs are mostly used in global market for accounting and for reporting. These are the first basic I would say requirements. Those are being made very heavily from the ERP, and then on top of that we have gone into build, there are a lot of different functionalities, mobile capabilities, all those things we have built. So let's just now look into the example. So let's say when someone is producing cars or motorbikes and everything, so what do they need first? They need to first in place as a designing team, right, who is designing the products, and they need some the machineries and plants and everything to produce those items, right? So they have, so you understand, so they have some designing team, right? And second, they will need some production unit, right? Now, when we have this production unit, what is the correlated things which are needed along with your production? So whenever you are building something, you need raw materials, parts or something. In most of the auto ancillaries company, whoever are dependent on these big companies, right? So what they do, they produce small part of a big truck or big bike, and the big end company, which is Eicher Motors or Maruti or Hyundai, what they do, they just assemble these products and they just sell it off, right? And market it, brand it, and sell it off. So that means you understand we have our purchasing also involved, which we go and do with the different vendors. Now once we say purchasing team, then we have to have our stock or inventory, right? Inventory module also needs to be involved, because I am storing something, then only I will be able to use that in my production. And when I'm talking about storing, my warehousing capabilities should also be harnessed. So I say we have our warehousing capabilities should also be harnessed from the ERP, because that is a predominantly what we need to go and use. Now, once we have the warehousing capabilities, inventory, purchasing team, and I go and uh, produce my motorbikes or trucks. And then what do we have to do? I have a strong sales team to back me up so that I can sell my items, right? So I have my sales team. And this sales team, big players, they are not only just going to your doorstep and just selling it, or it's not like some random FMCG item like biscuits or tea or all those things, right? We do not find this in grocery shop. Where do we find that? We find from our dealers, right? So car dealers, every city has lot of car dealers, so that is called as dealer management system, right? And this dealer management is actually related to your sales or point of sale, which where we come in as a customer, right? So our customer, everything starts from here. So if you say that as a customer, end customer, we start from here in the point of sales. And if someone is we want to buy some colors of bikes or some color of trucks or car, if they do not have that, they can tell you, okay, we'll give you the delivery next 70 days or maybe next 3 months or 4 months. How are they going to estimate that? Because from this dealer management, they have a connection with the sales team, and the data is actually being coming to them just for from this production unit and the inventory also. So they can tell you, okay, this much is also on order, and we can produce this much of item in next maybe 6 months, and based on that I can fulfill your order. So the point is, everything has to be interconnected, all these things. I can maintain different system for each of the applications. I can have my system for my sales team, I can have it for dealer management software, production capabilities. But the problem with that is you have to manage the licenses of different products, right? Different softwares. And also on top of that, you have to have different teams for that. And also at the same time, you have to have the integrations or connections in place where each and every module one talks with each other, so that your data is being correctly captured and you actually get to know the right time of the delivery of your product. So there only ERP comes in, and it actually helps us to integrate all the modules, and it is just one application or one screen which stores all this information. So every information is interrelated. So it's again, if I just talk about it, so I start with my designing team. So the designing team is nothing but what we call as a product information management team. So they will design the product, they will say what are the components designed. Based on that, we'll say that okay, these are the components near, I need this supplies from my this vendor. So then the purchasing team will come into play, and the inventory and warehouse team subsequently, that they will store the item, release the item subsequently based on the demand. After that, the production unit comes into play, and then the sales and the dealer management. All these teams are not using different things. We are using the same software, which is Dynamics 365 or any ERP. The basic concept is this. And with the ERP, the reporting capabilities are much more integrated, because you do not have to just feed the data from different softwares. You can just simply come, see the data, and bring your reports out of it. Also, at the same time, you are not dependent on the accounting part, because in every manufacturing company or every FMCG company, they have a complex accounting process, because accounting means how you're registering your cost of the item, how your cost of goods sold are there, how much sales or revenue you are generating. All those things are very important for them. Based on that, they are maintaining their business, right? So those things are also being captured efficiently in the ERP. So these two are major capabilities. Now, as I was saying, we have built different capabilities on top of ERP nowadays. So we'll be talking on those later subsequently, now when you go to the slides. But right now there are much more capabilities rather than this. When we'll be deep diving more into the product, we'll learn more on that. Right. So let me go back to the slide and we'll just explain it. So Dynamics 365 ERP. So when you started, actually it was called AX7. Okay. Why it is AX7? Because the previous versions were called Axapta. It's called AXAPTA. It's called Accepta. And Accepta 2012, Accepta 2012 was the previous version, and Microsoft released it around 2010 or 11, and that was the latest version. And at that time, this ERP was a Windows based application. And what do I mean by that? Right now, if you want to install any software, what do? We go to internet, we have to just download that software, we run a exe file, right click, run as administrator, and the software gets installed in my local machine. Correct? All the applications with a big size, it gets installed. For Accepta, it was exactly like this. You have to install in some of the your remote server, or what we call it, virtual machine. So you have to install that in your virtual machine, and the users, whoever were using it, you have to give them the access for that virtual machine, and so that we can go and use it. But Microsoft, with the launch of Azure and cloud, they have now changed it to a cloud application. You do not have to go and install everything, nothing you have to do. You have just need to simply go buy the subscription. You will get a URL or link. You can open it from your tablet, laptop, mobile. You can then go and start using it, and you have to pay as per as you use. That is the concept of the subscription based model, right? So this is from the trivia. So when it was launched in 2016, they called this at AX7, but in 2017, like June, July, they have termed it Dynamics 365, and there's a like a business sense of it, because right now everything is being sold on a single platform, which is Office 365. So if you have a Office 365 tenant, and then you can go and buy this license under the same window. I'll explain it more, but right now just remember that the name is Dynamics 365 Finance and Operations, and also CRM is called Dynamics 365 Sales. Now coming to the evolution, as you are seeing, so we have 2009, which is an another older version, 2012, which is the latest version. It is still in use. 2009 is also in use, but Microsoft has stopped supporting this version. This version will also be stopped supported by Microsoft sooner or later, maybe in couple of years. And this is the latest version, and we are going to use this for maybe, I don't know how many years, but we are going to use this. So now the point is, we have uh, talked about the different Windows-based application, cloud-based application, but what are the difference of? So the main difference is the scale. So for this Dynamics 365, we have applications. Lot of applications can be built on Dynamics 365, where our warehouse management, retail, all these things can be integrated very smoothly, and we do not have any problem of scaling it up. That is a good point of cloud, because when you have, if you just compare with the I would say the latest older version, which is 2012, just as not discuss on the 2009, because I'd say this is quite old version. So when you talk about comparing with 2012, all the capabilities, infrastructure, you have to manage on your own. That was the part of the system, that if you are having a ERP which you are installing in your local machine, if it is being getting slow, if there are not much RAM on it, what do? You change the RAM of your laptop, right? You change the memory on all those things in your local machine. Similarly, that was in your code, in the customer's code. So today, let's say in your company you have 100 users in the company. After 5 years, you have 500 users in the company. Do you feel that your application will work in the same way? It will not, because the user load is quite more. There are so many different functionalities are going on. You are doing a lot of inbuilt all those things, so the infrastructure management completely falls down to in your plate. So you have to keep on monitoring this in the older versions, but right now with the cloud, that is not the case. Based on the users, based on the usage profiles, Microsoft will keep on reallocating and allocating the servers, the RAM and memory, all those things. So that is the beauty of the cloud. We are actually paying what we are using, so Microsoft is doing all the infrastructure on behalf of us. So again, if we just talk about the capabilities, reporting integration capabilities is much more in the latest versions. We have our Power BI report is much more integrated. Data management frameworks and all those things are much more integrated. Maybe this will not make much sense to you as of now, because maybe you're not aware of these terminologies, but once we start the course, we just go deep into it, it will make sense to you. So what we know by SSRS reporting, our entity, our DIXF, data import export management, all these capabilities, if you just look into this, you will see that has been much more enhanced in our Dynamics 365 platform. And also mobile capabilities has also been actually been started. Previously it was there, Dynamics 2012, for some operations, very basic operations, but right now everything whatever you see in the screen in your laptop, you have the capability to create a small app out of it. You can and just upload it into Play Store or iStore, and you can go download that application and you can start using it, right? So all these things are like quite advanced, and I would say had been enhanced by Microsoft. Now, coming into from the functional side, this will be more on the capability side. What is the expectation and how the product is behaving? So, from the modeling side and the finance side, most of the things remain same. Organizational modeling and finance side. So, by that I mean that when even you are considering your organization hierarchy model, versioning, policies, everything is same. Again, if I just try to explain this more until this will be like bit complicated as of now, just for the start, but just to get message out of it, to get out a message out of it, it will be that from the functional capabilities, our workflows, modeling, finance, all these thing capabilities are more or less same. From the security point of view, the Dynamics 365 has enhanced quite a bit. We are using the same framework, but the capabilities has been increased. And also from the finance side, some integrations with different banks, e-banking, all those facilities have also been incorporated, right? So by that I mean that let's say if you have a banking partner like ICICI or HDFC, so right now there are a lot of connectors directly available, so that from a business you can go and directly make your payment from the ERP to the HDFC bank. You don't have to go and to the login again, do the select the bank account and do the money transfer and everything. It doesn't happen like that. All the banks, big financial institute, they are also coming up with these connectors with different big applications which customers use, right? This is from the functional point of view. Now coming back to the architecture point of view, this is, I'd say, quite interesting. So what happens is, I'll just quickly give you a rundown on it. So uh, previously, let's say if you want to migrate from your legacy system means your company is using some old software or uh, some maybe in-house software which is being created by someone, and you want to implement Dynamics 365. And most of the companies, they have a Windows Server Active Directory. So what does that mean? So all the users and all those things, they need to access this email and your Microsoft account, right? So how they do that? They, those users and all those things are created in Windows Server Active Directory, right? Now, if you want to implement Microsoft Dynamics 365, so Azure comes in. Azure is the Microsoft cloud. If you are implementing Dynamics 365 as a cloud application, or if you are implementing Dynamics 365 as a on-premise application. On-premise means your database will be managed by your company itself. It is not into the cloud. And which organization or which industry they need, where data is very sensitive, the banks, financial institute, non-banking financial corporation, NBFC, for all those companies, data is very important. They cannot store the data into the cloud. So they have some for banks, they have a government regulations. So RBI has a direct that you have to store the data into a local servers. You cannot store that into the cloud, because if there is a hack, so that will create a big mayhem, right? So but other small financial institute, venture capitalists, they can use the cloud anyways. So if you are implementing the Dynamics 365 as an on-premise application where your database and everything is you are maintained by you, but most of them use the second route, which is the cloud, on cloud implementation. For both of them, your Active Directory should be migrated to the Microsoft Azure Active Directory. That means all the user accounts, everything has to go and have to be created here, which is Microsoft Azure Active Directory. Once you create that Azure Active Directory, then you have to go to your Office 365 admin portal, and then you have to give the correct access to each of the users, so that if me and some of my friends are using, have bought the licenses for Microsoft Office Active Directory, I have to migrate all of them to Azure Active Directory. That is the first step. Then we have to give them the correct access from the admin portal. And now once we have that, then I can go buy a license for finance and operations, and I can use the same login credentials which I was created for my Office 365 admin portal. I do not have to go and use different credentials for it. So that means when I have my finance and operations applications, which is this one, I will be able to use the same login credentials, and I can use the same my credentials, and if this is an application likewise, like the Office account which I am using. Similarly, there are applications like lifecycle management, lifecycle services. So what does that do? It is basically maintains the Dynamics 365 environment, and it is used for the managing the environment, updates, releases, all those things. So that is a very basic infrastructure which you need to. Do all the users get access for LCS? The answer is no, because it is only with the IT admin team, or it is with the team where everyone is going and creating the lifecycle services account, and they can manage it. So it's mostly related to the Dynamics 365. I'd say IT admin to IT admins, right? So that is why the lifecycle services is being used. And similarly, we have your VSTS also, right? Which is right nowadays we call it DevOps, where all your release pipeline, build pipelines, all these things are maintained, correct? And that also being accessed from your same similar login account. So it is like one login account, and that one login account is being used for all your applications. So tomorrow if your organization comes with a CRM application, so this is for the ERP, right? So tomorrow if you now have a separate applications and you see it here is a CRM application, do we need to again create other credential, again buy license? You have to buy the license, but you don't need to again create another credentials. The same login credentials will work. So that is the beauty of this Dynamics 365 Office connectors and everything. You have the same login, and you can go and use that. Now, this is from the overall finance and operations architecture side. Now we'll be quickly going to the different objectives, I would say. What are the objectives of the course, and how what you can expect from it. So advantages, as I explained later, we have mobile access, integrations, LCS, .NET development. All these things are quite extensively we are nowadays using, and Power Apps and everything. It's being right now coming. We are using more and more. So it's not that everything is built perfectly. Microsoft is also working on that. There are some integration capabilities, right? Like your OData and other things which are built in, but it's not foolproof. But Microsoft is coming up with a lot of new features, lot of changes, but more or less the advantages are quite extensive, I would say. If you compare with the older versions, if you compare with any small ERP, your development workspace has been now been completely integrated to .NET. So coding language is different, but development integration. And yeah, what's new, as I explained, so is it a cloud hosted? We have a Visual Studio development environment. Previously it was not Visual Studio, but right now it is Visual Studio. Overlaying extension are the development methodologies. We'll see it, we'll discuss it more when we go deep into the course. And our architecture and web services data into this, all these features are already available, right? So from the expectation point of view, from the course, as I was explaining, so we'll be starting with the very basic, Dynamics 365 architecture, server architecture. Then we'll go to the different objects. What do we mean by overlaying, extension, how we can get hold of those changes, how we can implement those changes, very basic of our data type, data structure, which involves your table, queries, view, and then we'll go to the UI, which is our form, menu items, and then the part where we go and learn about the X++ language, which is a coding language, and also how to write the classes, codes, and everything. And also at the same time, we'll learn more on the few of the advanced topic like SSRS reporting, reporting through queries, our inquiry reports, and then we'll learn about the web service, external web service, how to consume data, and also our data management, and other capabilities like security and everything. So it will be like all the topics which will be covering. And from your side, no such prerequisites are there. uh, is that as you know that this will be a technical course, so if you know object oriented programming, I would say it is better. If you do not know, it is still works because the language is very easy to understand. If you just spend some time on it, you will get to know it, no problem in it. But as of now, there are no such prerequisite. From the environment point of view, I will show you how to install the environment, will explain you how to install it in your local machine, that also I'll show you. And there are also other free versions of Microsoft VM that also I will be able to show you how you can go and do the practice on it. And we will be doing everything on a runtime basis. So whenever I do, I'll just show it to in front of you, and then I'll give practice exercises. Yes. And coming to that, so whenever you are showing it to you, whenever I'm doing some changes, explaining some concepts, I keep on sending practice exercises. So I expect you at least to just have a look into it as a work on it, so that maybe some of you are not attending all the class, which happens, honestly, which happens, I have seen it. If you're not able to attend the classes, you will have the recordings of the sessions, which is good. You can go through it, but also after that, when you go through the recordings, you need some materials to practice, right? So that is why I keep on sending some practice materials which are based on the important topics, at least like 9, 10, 11, maybe practice exercises I send, so that you have some ready-made material just to practice on it. So if you are not having some time on it, so that later you can go and practice on those, right? And also I'll give you some of the key links which you can go and learn from it, Microsoft links. And then you can be well prepared for your next, if you are starting your career with Dynamics technical journey, right? So this will be, I would say, from the expectation point of view course and the prerequisites, right? So now I'll take up questions from your side. So anyone, do you have any questions?
What are the
Hello.
hardware requirements to install Dynamics 365 FNO?
You can
Hello.
there yes, can you hear me?
Yes, Maitra, I can hear you.
There are two ways of installing. One is a free online version. You don't need any hardware specification. So that Microsoft provides a free online virtual machine, so where you can go and do the development. And that is, I would say, do not need anything. It's just that browser internet connection, and that is available for 2 hours at a stretch. So what happens is, once you log into it, it gives you a window of 2 hours. You can go do your development in those 2 hours. You can save that and save into your Gmail or OneDrive, and then you can download it, and then you can go and start using it on the hours, because after 2 hours the environment is shut down automatically and you will lose your
Mhm.
changes. So that you have to save it. That is from the online free version. Now, the other version is where you can go and install a virtual machine into your own laptop. So for that, there are few specific requirements are there which needs to be met. There are, I would say, first is you at least have like maybe 16 GB of RAM. It will be needed, and also 100, close to 100, 120 GB of free hard disk space, and Windows Professional or Enterprise license. The reason is these three are prerequisite for installing the virtual machine into your own local machine laptop. Reason being, you have to download few of the VHD files. I'll show you in the course itself, and from that you have to create a VM. So that requires at least 90 or close to 100 GB of space. And to run that VM, you need a good amount of RAM. If you have a 8 GB of RAM, and you have to allocate at least 6 GB of RAM to your virtual machine. If you have 8 GB of RAM, so that is not enough to run that VM. So that is a immediate required. And third requirement is your what do you say, Windows Professional Enterprise license. That is also needed. The reason is, when you have to enable a VHD or virtual machine, you have to have a Windows Professional or Enterprise license. Windows Student version, Windows Home version will not have that capability, right? So you have to have those that versions installed in your laptop. So these three are prerequisite, I'd say, for installing that VM into your local machine.
Okay. Thank you.
Hello,
Yes, go ahead.
hello,
I can hear you, Chetan. Go ahead.
sir. I just wanted to go through the content about this course. I have content available with me, I will tell about the content. So in this course, we will be learning X++ control statements, introduction to variables,
Chetan,
operators, conditional statements.
yeah, Chetan, just one thing, 1 minute. Yes, I mean, I know the course material. So yes, the course material, whatever is there, will be covering those topics. So it is not exactly like the way that is written or it is followed, but all the things
Okay.
will be covered. And once we start the session, I will show you a course material, and you will see those two are exactly same. So those will be made.
And sir, one of my friend was telling me he has also done this course. So he was telling me that you should at least have the basic knowledge of C sharp language. Um,
As I said, Chetan, so what happens is, any object-oriented programming knowledge, not C sharp, any object-oriented programming knowledge like Java, SQL, C sharp,
okay.
if you know it,
Yes.
that is actually good for, I'd say, speed up the learning process, right? When I say give you
Yes.
some
Yes.
task, and if you need to
Okay.
know on that, that is actually helping you to speed up the process. But if you do not know
Yeah.
it, as I explained, it is not a
Yeah.
road blocker for you, I would say. You can just learn
Yes.
on it, and the syntaxes and all those things are very easy to command. And again, I keep on
Yes.
saying that in my courses, also previous courses, and I just reiterate the same. See, for
Okay.
learning syntaxes, or if you just know how to write a statement, you are not paying money for that. You are paying for the course because you need to know the logic, the architecture, all the important things, and you have to know how to address a problem. That is the most important thing. Syntaxes and everything, you can simply go and get it from Google also. That is something, not it will
Yes.
be genuine, and I will not be giving you some extra input on that. Where I can help you is that to know the concepts better and how to implement that. That, see, again, mugging up the concepts is, you can do it from any website or something. That will also not help you. It's important thing is, if you are going for any interview, everyone wants to know that how you can implement it, and how you can address a problem. So that will be the primary problem. So whenever I give the practice exercises also, you will get to see those are like designed in a way that you get to know, or you know different concepts, and you apply those concepts, and you try to know
Okay.
the approach of like solution of that problem, right? Problem statement. So that is the, I'd say, the major agenda. So just come into the mindset that will have a good, know a good approach, where you can just go and know the process, that how we can learn the first concepts first, and then we can approach the solution of a problem. Okay. Yeah, so
Okay, thank you,
knowing the
sir.
language and all those things is, I'd say, important, but it's not a road blocker for the course.
Yes, sir. Thank you.
Do you, Tathagat, do you have any day-wise schedule, like how you are going to cover up the entire training?
A day-wise schedule, not exactly, because I don't like to have those things. I have a schedule. I'll share that in the next session. Is that like the topics that we are going to cover, and like maybe
Mm-hmm.
15-20 topics, more or less a topic that you have the course content from Visualpath admin. Also, it's more or less similar. It's just that the order is a bit different. The
Mm-hmm.
reason being, I don't want to like just keep it is in a very day-wise format, that one day we are going to learn this, because I have seen in my previous batches also that there are some concepts which take some more time to digest, right? So there will be different type of participants in the class, so we might need to spend more time on that, some of the topics. So it's not just one day the session is constrained for one day. We mostly have the session for one day. Well,
Mm-hmm.
that is the duration of each day, 1 hour, 1 hour, not one day, it's 1 hour per day, and it will be like 5 days a week. This is how we do it. And some days, most of the days, it goes to more than 1 hour, I would say, or close to 1 hour. Some topics which are advanced topics, SSRS report, integrations, data management, all those things definitely go more than 1 hour. I try to finish by 1 hour, but it can topple maybe 10-15 minutes more than that. So it's not will be like a day-to-day course material, but the overall course material I will share it with you in the next class, and we'll go through each of the topics.
Okay. And are you going to start with a basic thing like how to create data types and then to fetch the data from any table or so, during one project or something, like how to write that and exception handlings and all other things step by step. Hello, can you hear me, Tathagat?
Yes, yes. Can you hear me now?
Yes, yes, I can. So
Yes,
can I
yes.
repeat my question?
No, no, I heard you. So yes, yes, those things will be covered. Yes. First thing we have to learn as I explained, we have to learn those concepts of. See, I cannot just from first day we'll be starting on the coding part. It is
Mhm.
not possible to start, because there are a lot of things you need to know before you go and start the coding, right? The basic data
Right.
type, data structure needs to be completely understood. Then you can go and write the code. So those things we will be covering first, and then we will be slowly moving towards the course of coding, and
Okay.
we'll do some. Yeah,
And how how the functional things is going to connect with the technical thing? Are you going to give some of the things like that? Like we have like the tables, what the out of box tables what we have. And are you going to
yeah, yeah, yeah.
uh,
Yes. Out of box,
okay.
yes. Whatever. See, uh, excuse me. There are two ways of approaching the problems. Okay, so first thing is, we can go and create our own problem statement, and we can go create our own object tables, data structure, and we can work on it. But I always say the challenging part is to go and do some changes on the existing object and the
Mm,
existing complex object, because if you see the product, if you see the data structure, everything, when I'll show you, okay, just give me a moment, let me show you that also. I think that would be helpful for you guys. So if you know that also, so you will see that it is more challenging to work on those existing objects, where I say go and do this change into this table or this classes. So that is more important. So we learn both of them, both the approaches. So how we'll approach a existing problem, where you have to go and change our objects which are already there and also create few of the new objects.
Okay, fine. And are you going to, kind of give some information and a high-level overview on how the sales order, purchase order processing works and all? At least the basic part, like how to create a customer, vendor, or how can I
Uh,
process a sales order, purchase
yes.
order?
For from the work point of view, I give exercises on sales order, purchase order. If we go and practice it, you will see that. But I'd say it's
Because
not
that
in the
because why I'm saying that, Tathagat, is because if let's say if some customization is going to do some customization in the invoicing part of the sales order or confirmation part of the sales order, so at least we'll come to know like where to customize that. Maybe
yes.
that's a advanced learning, but yeah.
I got it. What you're trying to say, I got it. Is yes, we'll definitely get to know on that. But exactly, so if you are saying that uh, going and create the process of how to create a sales order, complete a sales cycle or purchase cycle, I'd say that will not be the complete agenda of the course. But as I said, it will be part of our course in a way that I keep on giving the problem statements and give few spaces that these are the things you have to do, these are the places that you have to look for, and those things you will get to know. But if it is like if you're expecting that end-to-end purchase order cycle or sales order
No,
cycle,
no,
if
no.
you're
Yeah, no, not like that. Yeah, but at least we should come to know like where I should customize if something comes up in the sales order or PO, those kind of things.
yes, definitely those things will be covered because once I give you a problem statement, so I will say that
हाँ
okay, I will say that this is the place
क्या
that
है वो
where you
अच्छे नहीं है के लिए
go and write it.
Okay. And also are you covering the methods and how the method sequences are running in when I open a form or kind of table, how the methods are going each of the steps?
I'll just tell you some brief on that. So, when we go deep into the coding, we have lot of table method, form methods, all these things are there. Okay. So, I'll give you, I mean, to every method, if I go and start explaining in the course, it will take like 5 months to complete. It is not possible. So, what I do, I will give you the important methods to know, and then based on that, I keep on giving practice exercises so that you get to know the methods know and you know where to apply which method. So previously, like in the course, we are doing some exercises, and that was like an application of the existing form data source method. Okay, so those
Okay.
kind of exercises I keep on giving so that whatever you have learned, you can go and apply it. And I believe that is the right approach. If you are just, I mean, giving the concept is fine, but at the also at the same time, you have to practice with some examples, right? So that
Yes.
will be necessary
Yeah.
for you.
And are you going to do any dummy project, like one small project kind of thing by this, at least during learning or so?
The project is yeah, I mean, if you are saying that we have to go and create this starting from
Like
normal
the example which you
क्या
provided, maybe
हाँ
something like that to create one end-to-end
yeah,
during
that
learning.
is that is something I'll do. Yeah, that is not into it, I'd say, but some part I'll do, and some of the exercises I'll do with the existing objects also, because as I explained, doing the changes in the our existing object is, I'd say, much more complicated. So we give examples more on that, and also when we start, definitely will not go and start with our objects which are there. I mean, which are not new. We'll create the new objects. We'll see how to create
Yes.
it. But also at the same time, we'll covering the topics for our existing process, customization of the existing process. So those
रहने दो
things
ना क्या
also.
हो रहा वहाँ
Okay. Thanks,
ऐसा
Tathagat.
कुछ नहीं है गर्मी होती
Yeah, one question, Thagat. So, does the course, are we going to include any high-level topic on integration and upgradation?
Yes, integrations, external web service
मामी ने दाल
integration.
चावल बनाई है, बोले मेरे लिए,
Can you just
तुम्हारे
please
लिए भी
mute?
होगा.
Chetan, can you please mute yourself?
Yes sir, yes.
Yes. So I mean, as I was explaining, so we have concepts of integrations, external web services that I will explain. There are concepts of OData. Those I cannot just go and show you because I need an integration with another applications. I will discuss the concepts and will show some of the examples. But external web services, yes. Another advanced topic would be SSRS, complex SSRS report that we will also cover. Data entities that we will going to cover, and also at the same time our what can I say, security configurations, all those advanced topics will be covered.
Anything related to upgradation?
Upgradation, I mean, I will show you the process of applying the, like how you can go and apply the changes to your environment from LCS actually. So that is also part of the course, because whatever development you are doing in your development environment, that needs to be pushed on to the test environment and then to production environment. So how to create a package, how that process works, how LCS validation, LCS project creation, all those things work, that I will explain to you. Upgradation is, I can tell you the process, but the Microsoft, that upgradation actually starts with if you have a application which is already running on that. So to give you that example, I mean, you understand it, to practical, giving a practical example is not possible, but I will tell you the process of upgradation. So if you are going for
Mhm.
upgrade from the older version to the newer version.
Right. Yeah. Okay. Thank you.
For practice purpose, how can we install it? Give you provide the documents or an expression?
Yeah, that is part of the course actually. I will spend a couple of days on that. So as I said, the first online free version, I'll tell you how to open it, how to use it. And second is if you want to install the virtual machine in your own laptop, those process I'll show it in the class, and also I'll share documents.
And after that, as you told, for a high level integration and upgradation, so you provide the only just a basic information related to that. And means actually, I which class is using on that particular things and how can we uh, it-
Your voice was breaking, Sachin. Can you repeat the question again?
yeah, actually I want to know details about upgradation and integration. How can we covered means you told me you told now that you covered only the basic details and in the past. How can we that means can you show can we see there in logic and class which class is system class is using and how to customization the class if we want integration and upgradation, like.
Okay, see, there are two things: integration, upgradation, and not it's exactly similar or exactly the way you are talking. So first thing is, for the integration, uh, how to consume data from external web services, or data, all those things we'll be covering. Now coming to the upgradation, that is from the integration point of view. Now coming to the second topic, which is upgradation, as I explained, uh, we'll discuss the topics, or the cover the basics of the upgradations, how you can go and cover it. And also if you want a live example, like how we can upgrade from a older version to newer version, you I mean, that is understandable, right? Because that is not possible, because I don't have a older version of application which I can go and show it to you how you can install this and everything. I'll show you the process from the LCS, like how it does, because that's a separate process altogether actually in LCS, because you have to have a, or like AX22, the older version, you have to have a model store for it. You have to install that model store.
Right.
You have to do the connection, and then only once you have the model store, Microsoft will give you the steps that these are the things that you have to go and change this, all these things. And if you do not have those model store and changes, it is not possible to see all those things. right? And just for, I mean, from the demo side, I cannot have a like a model store and we can just install that. But again, as I said, we'll have the um, discussion on it, how it goes.
Okay.
Yeah, I think let me just give you, just quickly share my screen for a couple of minutes. I'll just quickly show you how the ERP looks like. If you have seen it, is fine. If you have not seen it, so this is the Dynamics 365 ERP, right? And if you go into that, these are the different modules we have, right? As you can see, there are so many different modules we have. And if you can see, let's say, as Sam was talking about sales order, right? So if you go to your sales order, you'll see account receivable. You have your sales orders. Click on that, and once it opens, you will be see a lot of data points in the sales orders. Yeah, so these are like all the data what we have in the sales order, right? And if you just quickly go and open this, any of them. Yeah, so this is the data what we have. So just point is just to show you the complexity of the application, or rather the what, how many functionalities, what are the extensiveness of the application. So if you see in one of the sales order, there are so many different section we have. And if you go to this each of this section, and you will see there are a lot of data points. And also if you go to the top section, there are so many different functionalities are there. So the crux of the matter is, if I go today and ask you to do some changes on it, how do you approach the problem? So that is the most important thing to learn, and that you should target to achieve from the course, so that you at least have a basic idea that this is how I approach my problem. So tomorrow I ask you, just go and write some method or write some code so that it shows me this data into this place. So it is not only that I go and write my code, my job is done. I need to show that data, and I need to show that in the correct place. Then only my development work is complete, right? So you have to know, okay, first, how do I break down the problem? How do I know which code to write, where to write, which is the most important thing, where to write the code, and then what is the code, and then how to go and attach to that to the screens, and what will be the exactly. So all these steps we will be going and learning into when you go into the ERP. As we say, this is what we call as front end. Front end means the application which the users are actually using, and the Visual Studio is the backend. This is the backend where we are going to do our all our coding and everything. The coding language is X++. It is not C sharp. If you see in Visual Studio, but it's not C sharp. It's X++. It is exactly similar to, I'd say 80% similar to SQL. And if you, as I said, know Java, anything, it works. So if you have that knowledge, it definitely works, right? So these are the things that, and if you see, if you go into the more detail into it, there are thousands and thousands of different tables only, and you will find more 1000 classes for that, different forms and all those things, right? So to get a hold of everything is not like a cakewalk or something, but we have to know the process, how to approach the problem. And once you know that, then only this picture will be very clear to you, right? I believe that that will be the agenda of the course. So when you have a course of maybe 1 month or something, if you have 25, 30 different classes, so you have a clear idea of how to go ahead and approach a problem statement. Okay. Okay, any questions on it?
Yeah, I have one question. Actually, I am part of finance. I don't have any coding knowledge on this. Can I, if I join this course, I can able to survive? I don't know. Basic things also I don't know. Coding.
Naveen, I just ask you, what will be your expectation from the course, and what is your end goal? Because if you are not into, I mean, dynamics, definitely you can learn it. There are few things you will be, I mean, I explain it in detailed way so that you will able to learn it. But some of the applications which we will be doing at the later point of the course, maybe after 2 weeks or something, we have to do some coding. And for that, if you do not know, as I said, it is fine. But you have to give some time to yourself just to know on that. If you are not giving time to yourself, if you are not knowing that, then it will not work in that way, because again, as I said, this is a technical course and we have to spend some time on that also. But yeah, as I was saying, so if you have, like, what will be your target? So do you want to go into the technical route, or rather you want to go for the functional side of the ERP?
Okay, I am going to technical only.
Okay, then this will be the right course, and we can go ahead and learn all the basic concepts, and then you can start, because this is a course like we are starting from very scratch. It is like very scratch. We will be building on the different building blocks, and then we will go to the advanced topics. And if you see, if you are working on it, if you spend few couple of months after the training and if you practice it more, it is not that in the interview, and if you're going for interview, it is not that someone will expect that you will know everything. If you know the basic concepts and few of the important things, maybe you have skipped the advanced topic, that is also fine. But if you know the basic things and some important things, I think that will be the necessary things, or rather the prerequisite for any technical course, or any technical interview.
Yeah, okay. Thank you.
Just to explain, so the course duration will be of close to 1 month, or maybe I mean say classes close to 25-30 classes. We take maybe more than that some of the times, but yeah, close to 25, maybe 25-28 classes, or 30 classes sessions, rather sessions, I would say sessions we have. And the other thing is the timing. So we have our timings from evening batches. So if we are comfortable, we can go ahead and start from 8:30 or 9 p.m. and we'll stay for 1 hour, if that is fine with all of you. Or if you have any other timing in your mind, you can also just write into the comment box.
What timing did you propose?
I proposed the evening batch, maybe 8:30 to, or 8:45 to 9 or 9:30. That timing I proposed.
Okay.
If you have any other timing in your mind, if someone is not comfortable, you can propose another timing. We can discuss it, or we can just go ahead and finalize it. That is, I mean, that is our call. But you can let the Visualpath admin know on that. And yeah, one more request: please everyone just drop your email ID and contact details in the chat window, so that the Visualpath team can just contact you and share you all the details.
Yeah, sure. Yeah, one more point. You mentioned, you are saying that duration of the course is 25 to 30 days, but the team from
Not
Visualpath
days, not days. It's classes, sessions.
classes. Okay. Okay, and but from someone from Visualpath mentioned that duration is 45 days.
Days is fine. Yeah, yeah. So we are saying having the sessions of
Session.
close to yeah, because 5 days a week, so it can go up to close to 1.5 months, yes, which is fine.
Okay.
This will be weekend or weekdays?
Sachin, what?
Classes will be weekend or weekdays?
5 days, weekdays, 5 times a week.
And 8:30 in evening time.
Yeah, that is what I
They have
proposed.
proposed. Okay. Can we schedule it early evening? I mean, like 6, 7, something.
6-7 will be a bit challenging, I believe, for all of us. I think most of us maybe for will be working or something. So starting from 6-7, I've seen it's a bit difficult for most of us. I mean, managing that time. So we can finalize the timing later maybe, but I'm just proposing as of now the timing which I explained. So it will be like maybe 8:45 to 9:45. That will be the timing. So if you have any other timing in mind, so you can just let us know.
Around 8 or 7, then we can plan for 8.
Yeah, that is what we're thinking. So from 8:30 maybe we'll be having the sessions. So if all of you are fine with that, you can just put a comment in the comment box. That will be helpful for us to just have a understanding if you are comfortable with the timing. Okay, Leela, I just said 8:45 in the evening, not the AM morning time. So are you fine with the evening time? Like not 8:45, maybe 8:30 evening time. It's not the morning.
Can I
Are
have
you fine
morning
with that?
timings? What will be the morning timings?
Morning timings hasn't have decided it. Do you have any availability over the evening time? I mean, I just wanted to know on that.
It will be 8:45 a.m. or 9 a.m. It will be better, or else before 8 o'clock morning.
Morning before 8 o'clock will be a bit challenging because honestly, what I have felt is because when I conduct the sessions, actually what happens is uh, before 8 o'clock I can go at the session, but the attendance is quite low. Okay, so no one able to join at the morning time at like 7 a.m. in the morning. I've taken one 7 a.m. in the morning. What happens? Most of them they do not join, and you all some of I mean that happens actually, and we
Okay,
all depend
9,
on recording sessions. Yeah, go ahead.
okay, 9 a.m. is okay.
Do you have any availability in the evening time? If it is possible, Lila.
Evening after 7 it's okay, but morning will be the better. I thought.
Okay, 9 a.m. or 9:30 a.m. Does that work for all of you? I mean, I don't give that time. There's a reason for it because I have seen that most of us are working. We have to go for our work, all these things, right? So that is kind of a challenging time for us. Like 9:30 a.m. If we do a session for 1 hour, that stretches the time of just reaching office quite a bit. So that happens. So that is why I just kept it around that time. So when you can just come back from the office and then we can have the session. So I mean, or from your college if you're also learning also, if you can just come back from your college and you can have this session.
I think we will put the time to 8 p.m. Mostly person is comfortable on that.
Evening time is more suitable.
Yes, evening time is more suitable, and 8 p.m. is more not very early and not late.
Yeah, so eight
It
or
will be good for everyone.
yeah, 8:30 I'll be definitely looking into it definitely, but yeah, I'll be just okay. Let us do one thing. So I think we'll all be in touch with the visual part team, so we'll be confirming on the timing later. Maybe we'll be covering a week I mean evening session would be, as I'm believing that it will be comfortable with the evening time, so we can plan that time. And once we everyone is comfortable, once we I have the go ahead from the team visual path team, then we can confirm the batch timings and then we can start maybe after some days. Okay, I think
Okay.
that will be perfect. Because yeah, please be in touch with the admin team, visual path admin team, and share your email id and contact number so that everyone I mean you can be contacted by the visual path with the correct schedule and also the meeting links, everything. saying we can just conclude the session for the day, and I hope to see you all in the course, and come within. We'll be having our sessions, if day-to-day sessions, and as I said, if I will be getting all your email IDs in a separate. You have to give me, because as I said, I keep on sending course materials and also practice exercises. So I'll be communicating through the emails, and later, if needed, there is a WhatsApp group or something. We'll be communicating over that.
Okay, okay. So when will we start the lecture? On Monday or next?
No, I think that the Visualpath team will contact you on that.
Okay, 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 madam.
Okay, I believe conclude the session for the day. So thanks everyone for joining, just to have your time over the weekend morning. Thank you all, and hope to connect to you in the next days for the sessions. Thank you everyone.
Thank
Thanks,
you.
Tathagat.